Welcome back, cholos and cholies. What's up, cholos? Well, like that was a bad intro right there from yours truly, Patrick, your host. And on the other end of the line, we got Troy. And in this episode, we're going to talk about something quite special, and that is scuba diving, actually. How are you feeling, Troy, about that?
Yeah, like I know you're making it seem like it's just like it's a random topic just pulled out of the pulled out of your arm like a rabbit pulled out of the hat like a rabbit. But nah, as I've come to understand that this is actually a topic that seems to have been very close to you for like. For years, actually, not even just for years. Maybe like I don't know. Maybe all the way back to when? When did this start?
Oh man, that's a tough question. I need to like think for a bit.
Yeah, that's cool. That's why we're like That's what we're.
All right. It would have started around 09, around 09 or 10, 2009 or 2010. Yeah.
Yeah, and how old were you then?
I was either 19 or 20. I think I was 20. Yeah, I was 20. So
wow.
It would have had to be in 2008. 2009, because I hadn't turned 21 yet, but it was still in 09. Yeah.
But still, you were that old before you developed that. Because as I've come to understand it, it's like it's like been. I don't fucking know, man. Like ever since I've known you, which is like for 10 years or something like that, you've been very, very into this sport, which is this.
Yeah, I have. But like, remember that scuba diving is with tanks, right?
Yeah.
I've always loved the water like that. Always loved swimming, be it fucking winter, summer, spring, or fall. Right? I love swimming. I love the sensation of like being in the water. You know.
Yeah.
And then like
wow.
I guess
that's actually no. Like this is not just a Joe Rogan. Wow, this is actually fascinating because I too can relate to that in the sense that when you do dive into that water, it's like being in a whole different world. You know. It's like being encapsulated in some a gooey liquid almost.
It definitely is. I do have like a cool story about this though before we actually get to the scuba diving aspect of it.
Yeah, and also like one more aspect that I like when I'm like in water is that which a lot of other people of course would love as well is just the mere fact that when you're in water you are basically weightless. I mean, it's like being in space, being in outer space. And that's why, NASA astronauts. Yeah, I was just going to say that NASA astronauts are training in. I believe it's in Houston. They have an underwater center with the astronauts are training for when they go to the ISS, the International Space Station. And that just shows how important. Swimming and diving actually is because it is there to train us for outer space, and we have to take that in.
And also objects underwater is a lot lighter than above water, you know.
Yeah.
Right. So you would actually be able to, for instance, lift a huge metal pipe underwater that you wouldn't even be able to move if it was on ground on top.
Yeah, and that's because of I think that's called buoyancy. I could be wrong.
Buoyancy. I will come into like that a little bit later in it. But first, man, you want to hear the story?
Yeah. Well, what's the story about?
So like it's another water story.
Okay.
So I'm about 15, and one of my classmates is like saying like, "Hey Pat, you want to join? Underwater rugby?" And
underwater rugby.
Yeah, man. And I'm like, the fuck? That sounds dangerous, man.
No.
And he's like, no, it's cool, man. And I'll tell you what, man. Like at this time, after I started that, and like, I got like some kind of like license or what the fuck for this free diving shit that you needed to be in like physical shape for it. I don't think I have ever been in as good physical shape as then, because what one of the fucking tests was to get this fucking thing. It was to swim underwater for 50 or 60 meters. It was like, I think like it was 50 meters, maybe more, without going up for air. That's a long fucking distance to...
Holy shit, man.
That's a long fucking distance to swim without drawing breath.
Yeah. When I've tried that, I believe I didn't come further than, how much was it? 25. Maybe I've been on 30.
So you did like one length, about 1.5 length, a little under 1.5 length, but that's fucking difficult.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And the trainer would be there and would be like saying like, don't worry, if you feel like you're gonna pass out, you won't pass out. Just keep going.
No, wait. Okay, hold on. Let's slow down here. Like, are we talking about swimming just below the surface, or are we talking about all the way at the bottom? No. Just below the surface. Yeah. Okay.
But still without going up for air.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was still like a heavy fucking exercise. It was like 2 heavy exercises that I remember the best, and this was like one of them. Right? Swimming like fucking 2 lengths of an Olympian swimming pool without going up for air. Because that is like 2+ minutes that you are holding your breath. Because you can only swim that fast underwater, you know.
Yeah.
So,
you like when I usually do it, I swim. What is it called? It's not crawl. It's the other thing.
Butterfly or
no, like where you swim like a frog. I can't remember. I can't even remember what that is.
Yeah. I know that. You know, like that's like the normal. Yeah, I know what it is. Yeah.
Frog swimming or something like that.
Frog swimming or something. Yeah. So this was like fucking intense, and it took me like many tries before I managed to do the 2 lengths underwater without like drawing the breath. Right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like I think like that's it. You know, like, yeah, man, like finally made it. And I gotta tell you, like when I made it, it was like fucking flashing white in my eyes. You know, like fuck, I'm going to pass out, right?
Wow.
But still,
after 50, how far were you at this point?
Well, like probably like the lengths that you were, like 1.5 lengths. Right?
So 30 meters.
Yeah, maybe, but
but you can't have seen the flashes of that, because like I was able to make well, maybe not like 25. I was on 25 meters when I was like starting to struggle, and then but I wasn't seeing white flashes and stuff.
Remember, it's a fine balance, right? But I was like swimming as fast as I could underwater, burning up all my energy, you know, like trying to make it to that.
You were swimming on time.
Yeah. It was
right.
I don't remember like what time it was.
Yeah, because I used like 1 minute or 1.5 minute on this 25 meters, I think.
And also it is this that it is it is just unnatural to hold your breath for that long, right? So the whole way.
Yeah, well, now, there are people like if you see David Blaine and these crazy people, they can do it for 15 minutes.
It's still unnatural. I'm not talking about like it being unnatural, but I'm talking about the feeling is unnatural.
Oh yeah,
the feeling of holding your breath that long is like
Of
unnatural.
course. Of course.
But yeah, I made it, and then like I'm thinking like I'm done, and I'm already fucking pretty beat up after this, and then this instructor dude is like blowing his whistle, and then man, fucking hell, and then like the group of us that was there, like getting this shit, had to was like instructed to like swim in to the deep end of the swimming pool, right? And the exercise was to be like 1 hour in the water, staying afloat, not touching any ledge. So you gotta use your legs and arms for one entire fucking hour.
Wow.
Right? Like, holy shit. No, like, people would be like, after like 30 minutes, like, dipping down and be like, can't do this, man. So, anyways, like I did all this shit. I gotta like tell you also that this was because my classmate's father was like a fucking mad scuba underwater rugby dude or whatever the fuck, right? So he was the one pushing his son to go with, and I was the one pushed by him to go with because he didn't want to be there with a bunch of middle-aged men.
What? Who?
Like my classmate, because my classmate was like pushed to join this by his father, who was on this fucking underwater rugby team full of middle-aged men.
No.
So we're going with. Then I have like my first underwater rugby match, and like holy shit, man! You have like because like you're having like head protective gear underwater to protect your ears, because you're going to get kicks. You're gonna get kicks in the fucking head by other motherfucking cholos who want the ball.
Yeah.
Underwater.
But I'm still like because for how long can you be submerged during the match? Because I mean, at some point you gotta come up to take air.
Yeah.
So what are the rules exactly in this underwater rugby thing?
I don't think, like, I can't remember the rules, but, I went up for air all the time.
Hold on.
So
I'm just gonna Google it. I'm gonna act like a Jamie.
Do that. But still, like, it was, like, fucking crazy, Getting kicks in the skull underwater and shit.
Yeah.
Coming up, like, beaten up, having been submerged and all that shit. Being like, fuck, and like I would just be thinking, like, at least it's an entire week until next practice.
Wow.
So now I didn't do this for like a long time. I didn't do this for a long time. It was like a couple of times, maybe like a couple of months in total. Anyways,
okay, so I got the rules here. So apparently, it's played. This is just from Wikipedia, but like whatever, man. We're not gonna get reported for citing Wikipedia here. That's fine. So it is played underwater in a pool with a depth of 3.5 meters to 5 meters, and goals. And the goals are heavy metal buckets with a diameter of about 40 centimeters. At the bottom of the pool, and two teams, usually blue and white, with each with 6 players plus 6 substitutes. Apparently, I mean that of course probably depends on on what level you play it. If you play in the higher leagues, then you probably play with substitutes, I can imagine. But like, and then you try to score a goal by sending the slightly negatively buoyant ball filled with salt water into the opponent's goal. It is a fast and exhausting game, and therefore the subs replace their players on the fly. The ball may be passed in any direction, but must not leave the water. It flies about 2 meters or 3 meters before water resistance stops it. This makes good tactics and good positioning essential. The players need all sorts of different abilities. Strength, speed, agility, and good team play are all similarly important.
Like that all sounds fine and nice, but when you actually try it and you're underwater, it's just complete chaos. It's just fucking chaos. Getting kicked in the head, getting kicked in the stomach.
Yeah, fuck, man.
Because everybody wants that damn ball.
Wow. But yeah, I'm like seeing. Oh, and actually, the picture on Wikipedia is like from an underwater rugby match in Norway.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Wow. And it's a relatively new sport, too. It's like from 1961, where the first match was played in Cologne, Germany.
Fucking
Fuck, man.
Madness to play that sport.
But it still doesn't answer how long the players will actually be underwater at a time.
No, because it's up to it's up to each player's own ability. Right.
Ah, right. So
I mean, like you get fucking kicked in the skull, you're gonna go up for air.
Yeah, sure. I can imagine that. You're like swimming there like some Viking paddling through with those slippers, with those feet, and then all of a sudden some big ass huge dude comes toward you and just smacks you in the head and like, ooh, boo.
Yeah. That's also like something. There's no weight class. Fuck.
Oh, wow.
So you can be like a 60 kilo, 70 kilo thin dude and small, and then it could be like a 2 meter tall giant like that fucking actor from Game of Thrones for the mountain.
Yeah. Wow.
Can you imagine being kicked in the skull by some 200 kilo heavy muscle dude?
Wow, so you're basically underwater just as long as you can hold your breath. Yeah. And imagine like there's some people that actually can hold their breath for 5 minutes underwater. They would be the prime candidates for this sport.
For sure, man.
Wow. Sure. Holy shit, man.
But all right,
that's amazing.
Let's move on.
Yeah, I had some more questions pertaining to scuba diving, because I actually wrote down a couple of questions here that could be interesting for the listeners as well.
Yeah, just come with one question.
So the first one, I think you've already answered this slightly, but you can just generally sum up what fascinates you about scuba diving, just in general.
How I got started with it in the first place is that I went to this kind of like same place as you went to, this høyskole. Except that in Norway it is called folkehøyskole.
And they would call it a boarding school in the US. But it's like especially in Denmark, it is publicly funded. It's not something that your parents are paying.
Yeah, in Norway you need to pay yourself, man.
So, wow! Holy shit! Well, actually, it's like that in that. Well, in Denmark there are different levels. In Denmark, depends on how poor or rich your parents are. My parents, I believe they paid 50%, and the government paid like the other half. So
in Norway, it's like you pay 100%.
Yeah, but there was also you remember Balls, right? The Benjamin dude. not one of my other friends. I don't see him much anymore. We just used to call each other balls for some reason. Because of the GTA gang. That was why. Like we called each other balls because of that. I don't know, for some reason we didn't know that. We can get into that. Because we didn't know that the gang, that the good guy gang in GTA San Andreas was the Grove Street family, so we called each other ballers because we thought that ballers were the good guys.
They were the bad guys.
Yeah, they were the bad guys. They were actually the bad guys. So but I don't know. It just stuck around. It just stuck around after that. But anyway, like so this guy, he got paid the whole fucking boarding school experience by the government because his dad wasn't able to afford it, and his mom had split, because she was a bitch. But anyway, so where did we get off on this trail here?
Yeah, well, like I'll get to it. So,
right. What fascinates you? Right.
Yeah. So I went to this school in Moss in Norway. It's on the eastern part, not that far from the Swedish border.
All right.
And they had this fucking scuba diving course, right? And I never scuba dived before, but I liked being in the water, so I felt like, what the fuck?
Well, I like that attitude. Fuck.
So I show up to the class, and it's kind of like awesome because like the teacher there used to be a co-owner of the local dive center.
Mm.
So like we go there, and like I had to pay some extra for it, but it was like really fucking cheap, man. It was like $150 for the entire diving license, right? And and like usually it would be like 4 times higher or whatever, but like special price, and that they had this deal with the school and so on, right? So I thought like, I can do that, and it turned out to be like really cool, because like you got the standard gear, you got the swimming feet, and then you got the loan. This is also like how it works. If you're renting it or being on, it works the same way anywhere in the world. If you are like going on vacation and you like see a scuba diving center, right? Yeah. And you're like thinking like, I want to dive, right? Then don't fucking think, nah, I can't do that. I don't have the equipment, because you can go there. And then you can get a price for like going with the diving center instructors to a dive site. Yeah. And especially in Southern Europe, these are like quite reasonable prices, ranging from like a few $100 euros. You might think that that's expensive, but that also includes transportation. Some places, like that you're picked up right from the hotel, driven to the dive center, briefed on the dive that you're going to go on and shit, right? And then you pick out the gear and you load up the van or the truck or whatever that you're in, and you head out, right? So reasonable. Like in our countries, it's a little bit more expensive, which is why I never got into it. Like in Norway, it would be like 200 euros for just the renting of the gear or whatever, right?
That's
so it's
that's expensive.
So, yeah, right. So like your option is to like become a member of the diving club, right, and pay like a fee for that. But I'm not sure if you can like loan the gear. Then I think that then it's required that you like buy your own gear, and then you're talking like thousands of dollars, right?
It's definitely not.
Unless you're buying it used, but you kind of like don't want to buy used gear because you want to be sure that like everything is kosher. You don't want an oxygen tank with bad oxygen on it because that could fucking kill you, right? Right. Does that make sense?
No, I was just like cranking up because he was saying everything is kosher.
Yeah, man. Because like
You
could pay.
Is that just a metaphor though, or
yeah,
is
it's just my metaphor.
Yeah.
So, it's because if you can pay like $2,000 for something that is used and it might be bad, or hoses could be bad, or like equipment could malfunction, right?
Yeah.
And the last thing that you want is a bad tank of oxygen and the malfunctioning equipment on 30 meters of depth.
Yeah, of course, because down there you have the pressure.
Yeah, exactly. And you also like you read about like a couple of like accidents a year, probably in Denmark too, Norway, Sweden, Germany, where people have like died diving, right?
But at that depth, at 30 meters.
Yeah, you can't fucking like that's a problem. Like at 30 meters, you can't just drop the equipment and swim up because you're gonna get diver's sickness.
Because that is my next question. How long does it take to get up from 30 meters?
I gotta like think because like on 30 meters, 45 meters, you would typically... It doesn't... I would like say 15 minutes. Yeah.
Wow.
Because it could take you like a shorter time just to like fucking inflate your vest and just fly up, right? Like you see in the James Bond movies, which is bullshit, by the way. You can't fucking hit the inflation button on your vest and fly up without contracting some sort of sickness. Right. Or fucking torpedoing out of of a submarine on 200 meters depth.
Yeah. Man. And by the way, for your, like, just to slow it down here, for you American guys, we're talking in European units, meters. That is about 100 feet for you guys. Yep. So at 100 feet, it will take you 15 minutes to get to the surface. By depressure, it's called depressurizing, right?
Yeah, here's why.
It's called depressurizing.
Decompressing.
Oh, decompress. Notice decompressing, not depressure. Depressurizing is something completely different. Sorry. We gotta get our terminology straight though, because
that's right.
Like otherwise people who are interested in scuba diving they're going to be confused. So it's decompressing. So to decompress at 30 meters at 100 feet, it takes you 15 minutes to get to the surface by decompressing. So that's to sum up there.
Let me explain the process.
Okay.
Because sure, like it doesn't take you like any time getting down there, right? To like 45 meters, and then you have like maybe like 10 minutes to explore the wreck or whatever that you're at, right?
Mm.
But then you need to start your ascent, right? So you're starting your ascent, and you can like choose to swim up. If you have like done it a couple of times, you will just hit the inflation button on your vest that pushes oxygen into the air into the vest from the tank.
Okay.
And I'm like, it's wrong of me to like say oxygen, because if you are on 45 meters, you're using a mix. Okay, you're not using the trimix mix of various shit in your tank, but you're using I forget like what it's called, but it's a mix of oxygen and helium that you're breathing.
Interesting.
On this depth. But anyways, like you're using this, and you start your ascent, and if you've done it a couple of times, you just use the inflation button on your vest, on your diver's vest, right? And the air goes into it, and you fly up, but you control the ascent, so you're not flying, you're going like slow and steady. And then when you're like starting to hit the 18 meters depth mark on your watch, you're going to stop inflating it and deflate it a little bit, like take some air out of it, whatever, so that you can achieve natural buoyancy. It's a nice fucking fancy word, right? Nice fucking natural buoyancy, that you're like floating in the middle at that depth, like without doing shit.
And I just read up on the buoyancy thing a couple of minutes ago. Buoyancy is basically just an upward force. So I'm pulling it up now as we speak because I forgot again. I literally just read it, but it's an upward force in the water, or like something that is You can get the wikis or the Google definition here. Buoyancy is an upward force exerted by a fluid on an immersed object in a gravity field. So basically, it's just an object that is immersed into a fluid, which in this case is water, and that is it then the force inside the object or the force outside the object that is the buoyancy?
I would say that it is the inside of the object. The weight. The weight is the buoyancy.
Because
I don't know, like what Google said. I'm a bit fussy about it. It's been a while since I've been doing this.
Anyway, like if you guys want to know it, you can Google it. We don't have that much time to go into it tonight. So just read up on buoyancy, guys.
But yeah, so then you're at 18 meters, and you're just chilling, right? You're just chilling. If you're like close to shore, then you can just explore, like the bottom of whatever you are. If you're like coming up from the other direction or whatever, right? And you're just chilling, right? I did this, and I was exploring some rock while I was like decompressing, and a fucking octopus comes out of the rock and grabs my snorkel. Yeah.
What the fuck,
like, it just grabs my snorkel. And I'm like thinking like, fuck you, man. That was like a $10 snorkel.
What? No. Are you thinking that was a $10 snorkel?
Yeah, that's what I was like thinking. I didn't think about the octopus because like it was just so surreal that it was just so surreal. Like, it was a small octopus. It was like maybe like I don't know, like baby octopus something, right?
Because like
fucking
it
just grabbed the snorkel with one of the arms and then yanked it off. Yanked the snorkel.
Wow! Like if it had been me, I would have fucking been paranoid. Like, man, what if I can't? What if the thing is ripping out my diving mask, and what if I can't breathe afterward, or what if it harms me in any way?
You have no idea. Like you're spending so much time on like learning not to panic. Like during training or whatever, right? No matter what, don't panic. And like the funny thing is that when you get to like the advanced diver course, I've like taken the 2 divers courses. I've taken like the open water diving course down to 18 meters, PADI. Yeah. That was at that school that I was talking about, right?
Yeah.
Where you like do a bunch of dives and just having a good time, barbecuing hot dogs on water since you get hungry from diving. Sure. Barbecuing hot dogs on the beach and like everybody having a good time.
Hold on, I'm just gonna get some water. You just keep talking.
Getting tired and all that stuff. It's just a fun time all in all. And then on vacation, some years after this, I think like we are in 2012 or 2013. Then I took the advanced open water divers course in Tenerife, Spain, one of the Canary Islands. This is also where the episode of the octopus happened. Then I just like took this course there because like I thought that I could just expand a little bit here. And man, it was a blast, man. You know, like the place was situated not far from my hotel in Puerto de la Cruz, and we went diving. Like for €10 extra, they could have like picked me up from the hotel, but this was like so close to the hotel that I could pretty much just walk there. It was like kilometers to walk there or something. And then it was like again, like you know, like the same shit. Being I don't know if it was just that there were Germans or what, right? But yeah, the instructors in Spain were German, by the way.
No, right.
And they didn't offer any free fucking hot dogs. God damn.
Wow, that's where in Germany were they from?
I don't know. I can't place the island.
Must have been Eastern Germans.
yeah. Like goddamn, man. Like when you're charging like €500 or something per head, I would like say that the least thing you can do is like throw in a barbecue there with some free hot dogs.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck, man, I don't know.
But fuck it. One of these there were two German brothers, by the way, and like one of them was like completely fucked in the head. He said that he had like done something like 15,000 dives.
15,000 dives.
15,000 dives for like 10,000 in like deep dives, and you know like
for how long?
For like 20 years or something, right?
Wow, that's
but, you know, like this is something that like really would like fuck with you because the pressure, right, that you're putting on your body and your head for like that time. Holy shit!
That's fucking. That's 750 dives a year.
Yeah,
that's more. That's almost 2 dives a day. What the fuck, man?
So his brother that was like still lucid, right, was like explaining to it like, "Don't worry about Thomas, man. He's okay." And I was like, really? You know, like he's like switching between 3 languages for every second word that he's saying.
Wow.
Because like he would be speaking like German, Spanish, and English, right? And he would like be fucking switching language mid sentence to something else.
Yeah, well, that's not unusual, though. Well, that's a little extreme, but that is what happens when
he would forget what he was like talking about and say the same shit again like 5 minutes later.
Yeah, no, but that is a common thing with bilinguals. I know I have that thing myself when I talk because I have Danish as my mother language and German as my second language, and then English on top of that. So when I talk, occasionally I have to. I stumble across a word as well where I'm like, damn, what was that in this other language? So yeah, it is a common thing with people who speak multiple languages.
On top of this though, they had like just painted their diver's boat or something on land and put it down in the water again. And his brother like told me like that it was like a year ago or something before that that he had like done it, and his brother told me that he had done all of this without a mask, and it was like spray paint, you know. And you know, you don't fucking paint without a mask on, due to the chemicals entering your brain will cause permanent brain damage.
Yeah, you say that again. You don't what?
Like, for instance, you don't paint a car. You know like how you paint a car with that like thing that spray around it.
Yeah, of course, the spray can.
He had been using this. He had been using the same thing on the boat. You know, like but not a spray can. You know, like a tank with like kind of like a pressure hose, right? That you're like spraying around, like a car, right?
Yeah.
You've definitely seen it on TV before.
Yeah, so much for forgetting words, by the way.
I'm not forgetting the words. I know the words. I know the words in Danish. Like lakkering.
Yeah, but see, this is the same thing as this other guy that you were talking about. Like, he probably knew the words in Spanish as well. But the thing is, now we have a perfect example of what happens when you know multiple languages.
It's impossible to explain. Let's just move.
No. We're not going to move on from this, because this is the perfect example of what happens when you like have so many. Because think about it, you have so many words. Like, for every word that you know in a language, you have to know the corresponding word in a different language. That's a lot of information that circles your brain.
I know that the English word for it is a paint job, but you're not using a spray can for a paint job. You're using a canister and a paint gun.
But that's of course. But I'm just saying, like, that's a different topic as well. But I'm less advocating for the difficulty of speaking two or more languages, like, because the brain has to know so much information. And I know we're like striving a little bit off topic here, but that's cool, man. I don't think that's why we're here. That's what the corner is for, as I see it. We're not like a Nazi. We're like, no, you must be on point. You must be on point. Yeah, but that's like I don't know.
That's German, man.
No, actually, I thought that was just where we were heading. Because I wanted to make that point here, and you were just like going off on we don't have time for that, but we do have time for that.
We do have time for it. I'm not fapped out about it.
Yeah, but anyway, now we can get back to the. Actually, by the way, I googled this this mixture that you breathe, which is you can actually also get something that is enriched air nitrox, which is a mixture of nitrogen and oxygen.
Yeah, right. Nitrox is what you use when you're doing like fucking 90-meter dives. Which is quite heavy because, you know why?
No.
Because, like, if you're like going by the book, using just a normal oxygen tank will become poisonous after 40 meters. That the air you're breathing are becoming poison because of the pressure.
Damn.
The deeper you dive, like the more fucking dangerous it gets. So like the first time you mix is like it's a little bit different from like where you are in the world. Where I was like in Southern Europe, then we just used this trimix mixture, which was the helium oxygen mix on the tank. Like just to be sure, just to be safe, right? That
doesn't sound that sounds very dangerous though, kind of.
And you can like find YouTube videos of this, of like fucking idiots in Greece or Turkey or whatever, right? That are like thinking they're Superman or some shit, and are using a regular oxygen tank and dives all the way down to like 60-70 meters or whatever with regular oxygen. And at the bottom, when they reach the bottom, right, their body starts spasming, and they die because they don't have any fucking thing to breathe. And they're like all the way down there from like I said that the book says from like 40 meters, but in reality. It is from 60 meters,
and that's around 130 feet.
But you still, I would still not say to anyone to fucking chance it. Use the correct mix from from at least 40 meters and be safe, you know.
Yeah, so 130 meters instead of 260 meters would be 200 feet. So yeah, you should really be at 130 feet.
Yeah. So and like use the correct mix, even if you like start from like 30 meters, then use the trimix mix of helium and oxygen. You go any deeper than that, then be sure to bring nitrux. And the fucking thing, man, is that like I felt like I was like shocked when I was like in the Oslo fjord and I saw some old dude coming up from the water and he was like holding 9 fucking tanks. It was like 9 or 10 tanks or something like that. And the reason for this is that he was like switching. He was explaining to me that he was switching when he was like hitting the point in the water. He would switch from the trimix tanks to the nitrox, you know, breathing the fucking nitrox. It feels like fucking sci-fi, breathing nitrogen and oxygen, right?
Yeah.
Breathing fucking nitrox. Fucking madness. And
wow.
The thing is that, you know, like I don't get these people. Like it has to be like one hell of a rush. But for one, it's a heavy fucking load to carry. Second, it's a lot of fucking things that needs to go right. That you need to like switch the tanks underwater, right? And thirdly, you only have, if you're going 90, 100 meters down, you only have a few minutes bottom time before you need to start your ascent. I don't quote me on this, but I believe that if you're going like 90 or 100 meters down, there's not just one, there's multiple decompression points on the way up.
Oh, right.
Like 2 or 3 places that you need to stop.
Oh, right. Yeah. I've heard that. I've heard that as well, but I don't know for how long you need to stop at each, and how many there actually are.
But still, that's a lot of fucking thing that needs to go right.
Yeah, but how? Then, how many? Can you answer that? Like, how many minutes do you have to stay at each point?
I'm not sure about like these deep dives, but if it is from 30 to 40 meters depth, then it is 10 minutes decompression time at 18 meters. So if there is if it's double that, then let's just say that it is 10 minutes decompression time at say 50 meters or something like that, 40 meters, and then another 10 minutes at 18 meters. Yeah. Fucking mad, man. So yeah, I love the sport.
I'm trying to Google how long you actually have to do it, but yeah.
If I'm like, I am planning like taking it up again, and if I'm ever like in a long vacation in Southern Europe.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, because you've actually only answered one of these questions that I wrote down. We still have like a fair bit of time, I think. So we can keep going, because I have way more material, because I'm actually prepared for this episode. So my next question here would be, if you at some point would be interested in diving below 35 meters or 115 feet.
No.
Why?
Because like after this depth, it is like pitch black, right? You can't see shit in front of you. Like you need a flashlight, and you can only like see a meter in front of you, even if it's clear water.
Yeah, but not even to push the boundary. Say you had accomplished. I mean, you might even be in that situation already, where you have accomplished everything that you want to accomplish on this earth, and say you had accumulated a wealth of, let's just say $10 billion, and you had bought up 10 apartment complexes that were generating a fucking steady amount of rent income, and it would be the most luxurious. You would basically be just shy of Donald Trump level without the arrogance, of course.
In that case, I would like forget about like money altogether. And like, I don't think that I would like push the boundaries by physically diving that, but I would definitely, you know, like buy fucking research ships and research submarines, you know, to explore.
To what? Explore what?
To explore more of the ocean and waters not known.
Right, because it's actually only... I know this too, for some reason.
It's only like 80% or something, 70 or 80%.
No, much less than that. It's like 5% of the ocean floor that has been mapped out.
Yeah.
So there's still 95% of the ocean floor that needs to be mapped out.
Yeah, no, I would definitely do that. You know, like get a research vessel and map out more of the ocean floor, explore shit. And if I were to come across some fucking mythical ship such as Flora del Mar, which if you listeners don't know, Flora del Mar was a Portuguese ship, and it contains, or Spanish ship, Flora del Mar.
There's actually a 4-star hotel in Todos in Leon in Mexico that's called Flora del Mar.
Yeah, it means like flower of the sea. And if you found this ship, you would be $4 billion richer.
Damn. Not like you would need that when...
No, so I'm like saying that even if I found that, I would like still donate that shit to museums around the world.
Well, in any way, no matter who would find it, it would end up at a museum. Unless it would be found by some fucking culture radical who would just burn it like the Joker and say, "Oh, fuck history, whatever, man." Yeah, man. They would if anybody
listen, it would be melted down and nobody would even have known that it fucking existed. Melted down and sold.
Yeah, but the thing is, if. No, I believe if... Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know. With the material that it consists of, how much would you be able to get for that?
$4 billion.
No, not 4 billion for the material alone.
No.
Not for the material alone. Now you're fucking joking.
It will be much less than that. It would melt it down. It wouldn't be as it wouldn't be.
Isn't it just iron?
No, it is gold and silver.
Oh, okay.
Mainly gold and silver.
Yeah, all right.
And as these prices vary a lot, then it's like not sure you would get.
But still, that's still a drop in the bucket compared to the $1 billion that you could earn from just selling it and then having it end up in a museum, because governments would be interested to making it a cultural heir to the world.
But yeah, man, definitely mapping out the ocean floor, finding new species, personally driving submarines and shit. Yeah, man. Or piloting the submarine is the correct term, I guess. That would be but I wouldn't physically push the boundaries, because I would still hold on to that 35 meters of depth, and there is nothing you can see, because everything above that, below that is pitch black. And for me, wreck diving was the most interesting aspect of scuba diving.
Why?
Because it is so incredible how a ship transfers to become something else underwater, like with broken glass not being sharp because it's, like been filed off by the sand, right? And the rust and the way that you need to move through the ship, since you gotta always watch where your tank is, since these corridors diving through hospital military ships from World War II is quite tight,
Yeah.
You gotta know your way around it.
Wow.
And it's just incredible,
Yeah, I get that.
Seeing that, and that is more interesting view to me than
definitely, for sure,
than exploring some rock on the ocean bed.
No, for sure. Right? I completely agree.
You have when I took it, I had the option by doing this, or it was the advanced diver's license. And I had the option to take this or the wreck divers, advanced open water divers in wreck diving, or advanced open water in cave diving. And you really don't want to be cave diving, because if shit hits the fan in cave diving, your dive partner will abandon you, and you die.
What?
This is
why?
Rule. This is because this is an unwritten rule in cave diving.
But why?
Why?
Yeah, why? Why would you do that?
Why you would abandon?
Yeah, why would you abandon your partner in a cave when you cave diving?
Because it's a narrow passage, and you say that your partner has gotten a hose or something, cut off by a rock sticking out or something from the cave, or his equipment is malfunctioning. He's going to be struggling to make shit happen. You go down there or with him and try and help him, he might fucking panic. And though you're trained not to panic and shit, you have no way of knowing how a person is going to react when his life is being threatened by malfunctioning equipment.
Even with all the training that you have been subjected to.
Because think about it, your instincts are taking over at this point.
Wow.
So in rec, this is something you learn that. That was what I was going to say. That if I'm going to do anything else now, it would be to dive some more and take the rescue diver's license. Because in rescue diving, you learn about something that's called grid search. Driving back and forth in the grid to search for an object or a person.
Lies in the word, pretty obvious in the terminology.
Pretty cool, cool shit in my opinion. And you also learn some first aid, and you also learn how to knock a motherfucker out. That's right.
Underwater.
No, above water, because you would get somebody up from water and say he's suffering from diver sickness or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And he would be delirious, panicking, throwing around his arms, throwing around his arms on the ocean surface, yelling, "Kill you, motherfucker! Kill you, motherfucker!" Then you learn to actually come behind a person like that and subdue him or knock him out.
And I can feel you're severely turned on by that prospect.
Yeah.
Though that leads to an interesting question. Why?
Because it's about preserving calmness and control.
No. I mean, why are you interested in learning to knock a motherfucker out?
No, I don't know, but
No. I want I want an answer now. I don't want just
because in my imagination, in my fucked up imagination, it sounds like being able to do some Sam Fisher shit, coming behind some narcos boat in the Mexican Gulf to knock a motherfucker out. 100% stealth, man.
So like a boyish dreams almost, like a teenage, like a long forgotten, ill-matured dream we have here from the host of the corner, I guess.
I remember, I remember hearing about this from some instructor, and I was just thinking like, boring. And then he said it in those words, and you get to knock a motherfucker out.
He said that.
Yeah, he said that. and then Patrick's eyes widened.
Damn.
Yeah, man. And there is actually a couple of movies that actually show this, or training videos also, because you really need to calm a person down that is panicking, right? And if that person isn't calming down and responding to you, then you really need to subdue him, or he's a danger to you and himself.
Yeah, of course. That makes sense. It makes sense when we're below water, but the other psychological aspects there, I'll just let those rest for now, and we can maybe discuss that in another episode. Don't want to dive into that tonight. But yeah, other than that,
wait, man. Oh man, I know this is going to be fucking long ass podcast, but we can do a couple of minutes more.
Yeah, that's because it's an interesting subject.
Yeah.
Or not? No, it's not. It is an interesting subject, of course. But one of the reasons is also because one of us at least is heavily invested and interested in it. So that naturally carries the conversation to a higher level when one of the parties is more interested in it. So yeah.
Okay, man. Here's the. I gotta just check if this is the fucking thing. Yeah, man. Here's the fucking different levels of the PADI scuba divers things, right? There is the PADI scuba diver or junior PADI scuba diver to start. This is typically for kids, as the maximum depth of this is 12 meters or 40 feet. And you're accompanied by a professional diver, and all of this. So this is usually for teens or people under 18 or 16. I think this is people under 16. And then there is the open water or junior open water diver, a scuba diving certification level that gives you autonomy, and this is to 18 meters. Then this is for adults. Yeah, this is for adults, and 12 meters or 40 feet for juniors. This is what I took, the first one that I took, right?
Well, what are we talking about now?
The different levels in scuba diving that you can achieve.
Right,
certification levels. And then there's the last one that I took, which is Advanced Open Water Diver, AOWD, which is the third amateur scuba diving certification level. I'm just reading out of dresseldivers.com blog, where it says this recreational scuba diving certification level will allow you to improve your experience as a diver and expand your knowledge in this field. The biggest difference with the previous level is that being an AOWD, you can dive deeper. Your new depth limit will be 30 meters or 100 feet. And then there is the next one that I wanted to take that I was talking to you about, where you get to learn how to knock a motherfucker out, which is called the scuba diving certification level for rescue divers. The rescue diver course focuses its content on developing your rescue skills. When you finish this course, you will be much safer diver, capable of preventing problems and dealing with emergencies in the unlikely case that they occur. Plus, they get to knock a motherfucker out.
And it says the last line, I'm sure.
Yeah. And then 5, man. Like, listen to like badass this level sounds. Master Scuba Diver. Master Scuba Diver is the highest recreational scuba diving certification level, where PADI, the diving organization, has developed a wide range of training options for those interested in improving their scuba knowledge. Deep diving, night or wreck diving specialty courses are some of them, but there are many more. If in addition to being a rescue diver you have 5 of these specialties, you can certify yourself as a master scuba diver. And above these, when you reach the
so what level are you at?
I'm at level 3, advanced open water diver. Then the next one is the rescue diver, and then the fifth one would be master scuba diver. And anything above this is considered professional. Then you're a professional scuba diver, where you could like actually get a career out of it. Which will be like a really fucking nice.
Damn. So what does that mean? A career that you could actually... so you could actually help the Marines and Navy SEALs do operations.
I don't think that they will let you tag along.
No. I mean, no. I don't mean on the missions. I mean like on training courses and like setting up the equipment and this kind of stuff.
Yeah, probably, and also like helping the police with grid searching for a body or.
No, of course I know that you're not gonna fucking be dragged into a Navy SEAL mission.
Calm.
You have to have some sort of military educational background there as well. Right, I mean, they're not gonna let you in there with the private diving course.
But okay, man, listen to this. Like, then it is master scuba diver, where you like when you have certified as a dive master, you can start working in the industry. From the moment you finish your first level of professional training, you will be able to help the dive instructors during their classes, and you will be able to become a group guide. This level of diving certification can still be awarded by an instructor. So this is so then there is like number 7, which is assistant instructor, where you're always ready to help. They also teach and train future divers or diving instructors. However, they often need assistance. This is the role played by this professional once certified. An assistant instructor can give theoretical classes to future divers during their training. In addition, he or she can evaluate their performance in surface exercises. However, this professional can certify nobody, meaning that you're very limited. You can't assess a student underwater. Only a diving instructor can do so.
Who needs to be a master diver level 5?
No, because like you're already a master diver when you're getting the assistant instructor course, but in order to
right. So you need to be level 5 to be assistant instructor, and then after that you can do the instructor.
You need to be level 5 in order to classify as an assistant instructor.
And then after that there's some sort of an instructor course where you learn how to become an instructor.
Yeah, man, like listen to this, and then it's 8, open water scuba instructor. This is level 8. This is the certification. This is the scuba diving certification that allows you to certify others. Meaning, if you have that, you can actually give somebody the certification. And then it's level 9, master scuba diver trainer. One more professional scuba diver certification, which you get if you, as an instructor, have certified 25 divers or more, and have completed at least 5 PADI specialty instructor courses, can become master scuba diver trainers.
Wow.
And level 10.
There's more levels?
Yeah,
Shit.
there's 3 more levels, man. Level 10, an IDC staff instructor in the right hand of a course director. The IDC staff instructor is for course director, what an assistant instructor is for an instructor. They are the people who help to the trainers or course directors to teach the new instructors. So when you are at this level of diving certification, you can impart theory and practice under supervision of a course director. Then there is level 11. Master Scuba Diver Instructor. The scuba diving certification level that recognizes you as an elite diving instructor. For having done this, you need to have issued 150 PADI certification levels at different levels. Taught 10 courses of emergency first response, where you get to learn how to knock a motherfucker out, and having participated in 3 PADI seminars and the requirement to obtain this level of professional diving certification. And then there is the last level, which is level 12. The scuba diving certification level of a teacher of teachers, course director. Course directors are professionals who teach PADI instructor development courses. In other words, they are the people who are in charge of training future diving instructors. To achieve this scuba diving certification level, it is necessary to pass a PADI course director training course. You already know the 12 PADI certification levels. Are you ready to get yours? Go get some.
Yeah, of course, that makes sense. I mean, then you need to, but in order to achieve that, you probably also not just need to learn how to dive, but there's also a lot of what do you call it, pedagogue. What do you call it? Let me just fucking Google that real quickly. English. Fuck, man, it's the same? Is it the same word? Pedagogue?
I'm not sure what the word is in English.
Educator. Anyway, like, you need to have some sort of educational training, at least, in dealing with people.
Yeah. In addition to having a shit ton of dives.
Yeah. In addition to having all the technical knowledge.
But yeah, like the sad thing about this is that scuba diving isn't really that big of a fad in Scandinavia. Like, it's way easier to making a living of this in the areas of the planet where there is the climate for it, the warmth and the tourism.
Yeah, but sure. You mentioned before you like to dive in wrecks, shipwrecks.
Yeah.
But like that brings me to my last question, actually, not the last one, but I had 2 more, but. We can skip. We can skip. We can skip those. So the last question is, what does diving mean to you? I.e., do you only want it to earn money from it, or is there actually something else that is inspiring this interest?
Words haven't even been invented yet. But I'll try and put it down as I can.
Well, that's what we're here for. Otherwise, we're just animals if we can't communicate about it.
It's not money because, as I said, it is extremely difficult to make a business of this. I do remember I mentioned that my teacher in Norway had been a co-owner of that dive center.
Don't think you mentioned this podcast, but whatever.
He was that was the reason. That was some of the reason for the discount that the class was getting. But this dive center went bankrupt.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, it's not money. It's the experience. Definitely.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, we can scratch. Now we're already scratching one of these other questions I had, where with the wildlife, with what kind of wildlife is interesting on the ocean floor? Like you must have dived down to at least 20 meters on an ocean floor there.
I've been on 45
or 45. So what kind of wildlife do we see there? Do we see crabs? Then we see aquatic flora, corals.
I didn't see any crabs at this depth. This was in Spain, though. I did see a hammerhead shark, though.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fucking nuts, man.
Creatures, and then it was the octopus, and then it was like a bunch of like different colorful fish. I can like put some pictures up in this podcast when I'm editing it of like pictures I took of that I have taken of like different things underwater and sea stars and stuff.
Yeah, because I imagine once you are down there in the thick soup that is the ocean, the water that is just clouding in front of you, because I believe it's like now I haven't tried it myself, but I don't believe it's like clear that you have clear vision all the time.
No, you don't. That's another thing. Like I said, like 30 meters. 30 meters. The ocean is like pretty foggy.
Yeah.
And you can't really see shit. It's not super clear. It's super clear at like 10, 18 meters with optimal conditions, but you can't always get the optimal conditions. For instance, when I was taking this license in Norway, it was almost never optimal conditions, and we did like 10 dives at least, right?
Yeah.
Maybe even more. And yeah, we did even more than 10 dives. 20, 30 dives or something. It was almost never optimal conditions. It was like because like you have like the streams underwater, right?
Yeah.
That is like they're dragging the sand, making it foggy, full of sand, grindy, right?
And that's just what I mean. Like when you are in that situation and you just step wrong, and then you swirl up a tornado of sand, then I believe the thing that is the furthest from one's mind is probably shit. What if there's a treasure down there that's gonna make me rich?
Well, I forgot to mention like one thing though. When you do scuba dive, right?
Yeah.
It's really important to be disciplined and not have alcohol or drugs in your system. Meaning 24 hours drug and alcohol free.
But I imagine that you don't even need it because it is already a euphoric experience as it is.
Yeah, right. But the thing is that you have alcohol in your blood and you're diving. The alcohol in your veins become poison. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get that, but that was not my question. Like my question was actually because I haven't tried it, so I'm just curious. I mean, like, how does it feel to swim in that foggy water and seeing like an octopus on your side? Like, how would you compare it compared to like being stoned or being buzzed?
Now, yeah, you definitely have that wow, that's fucking awesome feeling, right? But at the same time, I would like to say that you've done this just say 10 times in a month, right?
Yeah.
You get used to it.
Wow. Okay.
Right?
Damn.
And you get used to it. Yeah, you get used to it. It's like now it's just like it becomes a routine.
So that's
that you're going to the dive center, getting your gear, getting the brief, loading up the truck, driving into the place, and gearing up, right, and dragging all the tank and whatever to the dock where you're going, doing the buddy check. We're like checking each other's gear, that everything is like sitting right, everything is working, the oxygen is clean, and you head out, right.
So maybe that's the reason why you haven't been out diving in a while, because it loses the magic, kind of.
Yeah, like it definitely like loses the magic. Like it's cool, but it loses the magic because it becomes a routine, right? So it loses some of the magic, but it's also expensive, especially in Northern Europe. But it's still a cool sport, and I would encourage anyone that haven't tried it to try it. But if you're afraid of the water, then don't do it, because then you'll end up freezing up on like a 20-meter depth, and having an instructor to fly you up, right, or dive you up.
No. Man, I would have loved to have someone else in this podcast as well, so we could have compared your experiences. Because, like, I'm a little bit of a newbie, so I apologize that this has just been like me sitting here interviewing you and just like being.
When I head up to Aarhus, we can find a fucking diving center and we can go out together.
Yeah, damn. Probably won't be able to make a podcast down in the ocean.
No, but we could like talk about it later or something, right?
Yeah.
Because you would be allowed to go with, I don't know, like at least like a short dive to like 18 meters without a license, as long as you're with an instructor and another diver, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like I guess like that was all we had time for tonight. And definitely do some more episodes about this. And yeah, man, like thanks for coming with the topic.
Yeah.
Have you been inspired to take all 12 courses of all 12 levels of the quality divers?
Well, like the last part of our dialogue there at the end kind of turned me off a little bit to the idea, because what if the magic fades anyway? Then I don't know if there's a point of even starting it.
I would like to say, like, okay, let's say if you had like unlimited funds, there would be no limit to like the amount of wrecks that you could like dive to and take pictures of and shit, right? And
would that bring back that glorious feeling of diving again, or would it still be that routine?
I think so, but like I'll find out, you know, like if when I do like go on my dive trip next summer, to Greece or Croatia, and I'll find out, man.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I feel like that's a good place to leave it. Leave it. Will this mystery, like, this could be a mystery. Will this return? Will the probability of this, or no? Will the profound blessing of diving return to you eventually? Yeah, right? That's as eloquent as I can put it.
Good shit, man. Hope any of you cholos listened to this, enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the subscriber button and share the shit out of your friends. Yeah.
What happened to sub?
If they don't fucking sub, knock him the fuck out.
What happened to...
Make him sub. Right?
What happened to sub, yo?
So just like one last word for this. Sub. Out.